But I know right now I definitely have a sane voice coming on board. We have Adam Werner. He's the director of Alix Partners Food Service Practice, and if for nothing else, at least he's not in the wine business. Adam, welcome to the Crush.
Good afternoon. How are you today?
I am outstanding. How are you?
Not too bad. And I appreciate the top 10 list for Thanksgiving.
Ah!
I'll try to drink more wine.
Hey, it always helps. At least it's going to make my days a whole lot easier.
Definitely.
Well, Adam, we had a little fun before you got on. Actually, I had a lot of fun because I got off on a tangent about a winemaker who said the reason why Napa Valley wasn't growing was the fact that not enough rich people are coming there. So besides that, you just did a study about restaurants and how things are progressing and what you expect to see and what dining habits are. Are the rich people going to restaurants, Adam?
The rich people are going to restaurants, and I think everybody else is too.
I like hearing that. That's what I'm certainly hoping for.
But I think it's a little different.
Okay. Tell me how it's different these days.
So, earlier this year, actually, at the beginning of the first quarter, we conducted a study, and basically very simple. We asked people how, with times as tough as they are they cutting back, and if so, where? And resounding across the board, everyone came back and said, we're trying to eat out less. Now, it just so happened that was the absolute low point of consumer sentiment. And as things have gotten a little bit better over the course of the year, especially over the last, I would say, month or so, we asked some of the exact same questions. And what we heard, what we expected to hear is, yes, we're starting to return to the restaurants a little bit more. And in fact, what we did hear is that some people are, across the board, demographics, income-wise, etc. However, they're doing it differently. There's still dramatic trade-down effects. People simply can't afford the fine dining and casual dining as they did a couple of years ago. So they're still going to other restaurants, but I would say they're expecting to pay a significantly lower price point. In fact, the folks that we asked, they expect to pay going forward about 20% less than they are paying or that they paid at the beginning of the year.
So regardless of the fact they're going to go back out, they definitely are going to spend less than they were.
Exactly.
So would you say that when we look at restaurants, if there's going to be a 20% decline in dollars gained, but more people are going out, in the long run, isn't that going to be detrimental to the restaurant business?
Well, we would think that now there's always winners and losers here. Certain restaurants that are priced affordably, or at least in our consumers' minds have an optimal value, those are the folks that are still going to, people are going to gravitate to them, and others they're not. So I actually think it's not going to be a lowering of the water. But in fact, there's going to be significant winners and losers across all different price points and segments.
What do you consider the low-end price point?
Well, low-end price point basically is we consider is QSR or quick serve.
Okay.
So the McDonald's, the Burger Kings, those types of folks.
The ones you don't have to get out of your car to eat.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly. So the drive-thrus and otherwise. But we'd still say that there's a value component to each of those meals. Today, people are equating not just price on value, but still food quality is at the top of the list.
That makes sense. I think what I'm more interested in when you look at it, obviously, I think you look around at all the beautiful steakhouses that are in New York, the top of the world, the Le Cirques, the Les Aubagés, those where you're costing $120 a head just to walk in and take a seat. I see we've seen a decline there. Do you think we're going to see any improvement in those restaurants where, say, people go in and expect to spend $30 a head?
I actually think that that's the segment that's most suffering and will continue to suffer, at least in the short term. And it's interesting to see what they're doing to combat those pressures. They're going after discounting like they've never done before. And, some of them have been successful, but predominantly they've had a hard time filling seats, especially in the Monday through Friday base. I
think that's why a lot of our restaurants we're seeing are doing half-price wines. Easy for me to say. I told you I shouldn't drink Chardonnay. But I think that's part of that's marketing that's going in, the happy hours, the daily drink specials, and especially half-price wine. Do you see that impacting the market?
Well, I'd say, we've read a whole lot about steak chains actually trying to do that, doing limited time offers, or just like what you said, or even introducing new menu items like burgers and such. It's driving different traffic, but the challenge is that these restaurants aren't set up to deliver at those lower price points. I mean, you think about some of these fine dining establishments or even the high end of polished casual,
You can go to the bar and get a slider and a glass of Chardonnay where you used to have to eat a $30 steak.
Exactly, and they're expensive restaurants to maintain. They've got huge staffs, and they're not really set up to deliver that kind of a menu offering, and that's probably one of the biggest challenges, is having to rethink their operating structure. Most of these folks were aligned for growth, and now they have to think about standing pat for a couple of years.
Well, we certainly are going to keep our fingers crossed that, like you said, that people are going to tend to go out more for this holiday season. Well, Adam, thank you very much for being part of the Crush. It's always nice, even if it's 20% less, it's hopeful news to know that people are going to go out a little bit more in the next few months.
Well, definitely. We'll take care and talk to you soon.
Thank you, Adam.